Having a quick look now at our total body warm-up, starting with 10 no push-up burpees. So the idea here is to get the hands to the floor through a hip hinge, put some weight in the hands, almost like you're doing a handstand, shoot the feet back to a plank position, come back to a shoulder width stance as you hinge the hips to stand and hop a bit at the top, reaching overhead. Just like a burpee, but with no push-up. Once you've completed 10 repetitions there, we'll move into 10 alternating reverse runner's lunge. With a runner's lunge, the hands will come to either side of the foot as that back leg steps back, mostly with a straight leg on the back leg. And with a runner's lunge, your hip will bend basically fully all the way until your thigh is touching your torso, but that front knee is only hitting about 90 degrees. From there, 10 single kettlebell shoulder presses, cleaning the kettlebell and pressing overhead for 10 repetitions. This will be 10 repetitions on each side, one arm, then the other. As you drive into the overhead position, try to keep your head neutral as the bicep comes close to the ear, reaching that shoulder blade high, pressing the implement, whether it's a kettlebell or a dumbbell, to the ceiling. Coming back to a deep rack position every time. Now switching hands, cleaning the kettlebell to the shoulder. You'll notice with a kettlebell, you have the option of opening the hand because the handle is resting diagonally across the palm, the wrist is neutral, the kettlebell is supported even when you open your hand. Progressing, same tempo all the way through for 10 repetitions. Here as well, you can connect your breath to the movement, breathe in and brace before pressing, breathe out as the kettlebell reaches the overhead position. Now working on single kettlebell hang clean for 10 repetitions. This gives you a good chance to warm up the hinging pattern, but also coordinating lower and upper body. As soon as the work of the lower body is done, that snapping, jumping of the hips, the kettlebell will become weightless, and you'll follow through by pulling with your upper body into that nested rack position. Kettlebell will rest on the forearm, the bicep, the chest, and the shoulder. Now 10 repetitions on the other side. Kettlebell hang clean. These warm-ups are a great chance to focus on your technique, maybe using a lighter weight and getting very handy with a kettlebell. From here, 10 air squats. As you do your air squat, feet will be shoulder width, hips descend back and down. You can reach the hands up to help keep the spine neutral and the muscles of the back working, engaged. That was 5. Facing that direction now from another angle, showing that the hips are descending back and down. Knees are pressing out so that the knees track the toes, and keeping the spine as neutral as you can through that full range of motion. The whole foot stays on the ground the whole time, including the heels. From there, 10 on each side, single kettlebell bent over row. Here I'm demonstrating a no support option. If your low back becomes fatigued, you can use that hand on your knee to provide some support. But beyond that, focusing on hinging at the hips, knees stay mostly open. As you pull that elbow back, and the bell of the kettlebell may reach the torso. Now staying from the other side, doing 10 on the other hand. Spine stays as neutral as possible. Torso is not quite horizontal, but definitely leaning more than 45 degrees forward, hinging at the hips, pulling that elbow back, and the kettlebell may reach your torso every repetition. 10 on the one side, 10 on the other. From there, 30 seconds of front plank. You'll notice here with the front plank, the hips remain at about 180 degrees, the butt is squeezed, the abs are squeezed, keeping the pelvis slightly tucked under, but the upper back then becomes round, the shoulder blades are spread apart. Here I'm performing a slight front lean to stretch the wrists. You can shift side to side, front to back, to liven up your front plank a little bit if staying still does not suit you. And finally, 5 on each side of a single kettlebell front racked squat. So racking the kettlebell, keeping it centered in that rack position. And the same as the air squat, hips descend back and down, whole foot stays on the ground the whole time, spine stays neutral, knees drive out to track the toes. After performing 5 on one side, cleaning the kettlebell to the other side, and performing 5 more racked squats on that other side. Feel free to continue this warm-up for another couple of sets for a total of 2 to 3 sets.